What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Flake Garage. My name is Brian, and I have other Brian here with me, and today we're going to be working on his Hardbody. We have a brand new third brake light that we're going to try to add. This is a brake light that is for a Nissan Frontier. It's not going to be an exact straight up fit, so we have to modify it a little bit, but it should be fairly easy to do, and we'll show you guys here what we need to do. If you're familiar with the Nissan's original third brake light, you know that they're pretty hard to come by. You can't find them anywhere, and if you do, it's going to cost quite a bit of money. We're also going to be switching to a nice LED one, and that is also going to be about, what was it, 20 something?
It's about $20.
About $20. So you cannot go wrong, you know, having a little cheap light compared to trying to find a OEM one for the D21. So we're going to take the light off, and then we're going to show you what we need to modify on the new light, and then we're going to go ahead and install it. So let's do it. All right, guys, so real quick, to take your factory light, you're gonna need a Torx T20 screwdriver or a torque bit or something like that. That's gonna have 2 screws holding it right on each side. And then, I don't know if this is how they all came from factory, but it doesn't look like there's a way to unplug it, really. So we're gonna have to cut the wires here. If you are gonna do this, just make sure you're cutting on the light side more than anything, because we're going to use that extra wire to wire in our new one, and we'll show you here. Brian, if you want to open the other one real quick. So on our new light, the reason why we say it's not a straight fit, your holes for the bolts are going to line up just fine, but if you see here, we have basically kind of like a plastic tab that comes out. We basically have to cut this down and remove the plastic out of it, and then we're going to add some quick disconnects to here. We're going to add some quick disconnects to the wiring coming out of the truck to make sure we can plug it in and test it before we actually start bolting it in. Another thing to keep in mind too is that if you look here on the side, you see this little kind of tab. Hopefully you guys can see it. Hold on, let me go this way. So you have that little extra tab there. That most likely we're going to have to grind it down, because on the original one it's all kind of flat and even, and this one has that tab. I guess the Frontier body has something like that in it. So we're going to start working on this, and then we'll show you guys how it fits, how it looks, and if it's working great. So let's do it. All right, guys, so you just saw us kind of grind down some of the pieces in here, and then we're going to talk to you, I guess, what we're doing and then what the next step is going to be. So let me show you here the light itself. So if you can see here, we basically grinded and kind of broke. I guess if you don't have a grinder or a Dremel or anything like that, you can use just a pair of pliers and just start breaking all that plastic around. Once it's all broken, you'll see we have just the 2 little metal tabs that we're going to use. That's going to be obviously our power and our ground. And then we're going to move on right now to the truck to remove this light. We know what power and ground is here. We just don't know which is which on this side. So we need to test that first. We also came here to the side and we grinded out the tabs that were here. Let me show you on the other side. We took out this too, and then we made also some of the edges a little bit bigger. And the reason why is because we were going to add a nice little strobe controller in here. So this should be, whenever Brian steps on the brake, this is going to blink 3 times and then stay solid. Kind of like the F1 style that they use. You know, some of the newer cars have it. Subarus have it. I know I had one on mine when I had my Subaru. So I think it's going to make this light look even better. Just having a quick 3 blinks and then come to a stop. Going to make the truck a little more visible. And it's just going to look cooler all around. So let's take the factory light off, and then we'll start wiring all of this, testing it first, make sure it works great, and then we'll move on to putting it on. So let's do it. All right, guys, so we just tested the light right now, and we found out that the top is negative and your bottom is going to be the positive. So now that we know that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to adapting basically our strobe controller here. Negative with negative, positive with positive, obviously. And then we're gonna come over here and should be pretty easy. You have your all black, which is your ground, and you have your red with black, which is gonna be your power. After that, we are gonna test fit it. We are not sure if we need to grind up this small edges yet. So we're gonna test it first, and then we're gonna find out if we need to do it or not. So let's do it. All right, guys, and here we're just gonna show you real quick what we did. We had to solder our things in here. As you can see here, we might still have a little bit left of the initial thing, the initial metal that came with it. But our right side for the power, unfortunately, we cut in a little too deep with the Dremel, and it ended up breaking. So that could happen, guys, something to be aware of. You might have to solder some of those stuff in there. But it is there. We tested it out a little bit earlier. It's working good. Everything's working good, so no problems there. We're basically now ready to put some quick disconnects here. We're gonna put some pieces of electrical tape in here just to try to give it a little extra protection. It has the foam all around it, but just in case. And then we're gonna also add some quick disconnects here on the hard body. And we'll be ready to slap it on and put it on the truck. Then we'll show you guys how it looks, how it blinks and everything. Let's do it. All right, guys, so great news is that we test fitted this just a moment ago just to make sure and see if we needed to cut any of the edges in here. And great news, you don't have to touch that at all. You're gonna get it in place, tying it up and everything is gonna be just enough that it doesn't need to be trimmed or anything like that. As you can see here, we did our quick disconnects. Brian's about to put some tape on it just to make sure it's nice and weatherproof, but everything else should be good to go. We tested it, it was working great. We're gonna show you guys here in a little bit how it looks from the back. The light is a little bit bigger than your factory one, so it might look a little funny at first if you look at it, but honestly, I don't think it looks bad, and we're gonna show you guys here. So let's finish this up. He's gonna put some tape, we're gonna put it in place, and then we'll show you how it looks turned on with the strobe kit. You don't have to do that, but we thought it was a nice touch to make it look a little more modern on it. So let's do it.
It's going nowhere.
So there you have it, guys. That's how easy it is to put on that Frontier third brake light. It is a little bit bigger than the factory one, but it's a great replacement, especially because they don't make the factory one anymore. You can't find it, it's really expensive. This one was around $20 to $30. Like always, guys, we'll link you to everything on the bottom, so check out the description if you want to pick up a set. But yeah, honestly, you can't go wrong. It looks great. The F1 style strobe on it, I think it looks awesome too. Like Brian said, I don't think even his Subaru has that on it.
No.
So now he has higher tech on this little nice D21. So again, thank you so much for watching, guys. That's really all we have for today. Hopefully this tutorial is helpful to you guys. If it is, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, or leave a comment and let us know what you think. Again, great mod for really cheap. Cleans up the back a little bit, and especially with Brian, it matches his real nice LED tail lights right here. So again, thanks again, guys. We'll see you guys on the next video.
Later.
Bye.